my first review on the channel, and probably about 80% of you are not even interested in this sort of movies. But anyways, here goes nothing. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Nexans. So my name is Sujit. I watch a lot of movies, especially just sitting at home or going to the theaters, and I just thought, maybe I should just start reviewing them since I just watched a lot of them. Maybe it might help you decide if you want to watch this movie or not. The movie is called Miss Sloane, and it is a political movie about lobbyists. How interesting can it possibly be? So here's the basic premise of the movie, and I'm pretty sure about 80% of you are not even going to be interested just by listening to the premise of this movie. It is a movie about US politics, and even in that particular section, this is about lobbyists in US politics. Yeah, so remaining 5% of my viewer. This movie stars Jessica Chastain, Mark Strong. It's a pretty good cast. Well, just because of Jessica Chastain and some of the undertones around the movie, it is fine. It has a very hooked in plot, and once you understand the dialogue, you get attuned to the movie, you might even enjoy it. Even though this is a lot about US politics, I think this movie is entirely carried by Jessica Chastain's portrayal. She does a phenomenal job. Other than that, I think this movie has quite a few problems. Right off the bat, it's not for everybody. It does have that political undertone to the entire movie, even though I would say that this movie is not about politics exactly. Even within politics, this is about one of the most controversial topics in United States. It's about gun control. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a very controversial movie in itself. That fact just might turn off a lot of people about this movie. But when I was watching it, even though there was that undertone about all of that, I watched it from the perspective of the character on the movie, and that way it was a pretty good movie. Jessica Chastain, like I mentioned, does an amazing job, most likely an award-worthy performance. I don't know what awards he got for this movie because it was released in 2016. And I'm pretty late to the party, but it is available on Netflix if you want to watch it. Other than Jessica Chastain, every other character in the movie, they are fairly weak. They don't have any personality. They don't have a lot of background about them, maybe except another one of the characters who is also in Loki, but I forgot her name, which I'm just going to put right here. And she also does a pretty good job in the movie, and she has a pretty strong character. I would say in some sense not entirely fleshed out, but I would have loved to see more about her. Mark Strong characters could have been played by anybody else. And one other thing that I really didn't like about this movie, it just seems very fast paced. It is not actually fast paced, it's just like one of those movies. It tries to be Sherlock Holmes. Basically people talking over each other, talking very very fast, a lot of big words. And if you actually listen to what they're saying, only about 10% of what they're saying even matters. And you can probably tune out a lot of the dialogue because they are for a reason, but that didn't really change anything about the movie experience, about the plot progression or anything like that. If you can follow it, you can follow it, but it's going to be pretty difficult, I would imagine, for a lot of people, including myself. I had a very hard time to actually follow the dialogue. I had to go back and think about the dialogue that they just spoke to try to figure out exactly what they said, because I'm not very fluent in US politics, but I tried to catch up to what they were saying. Trying to figure that out is kind of a pain. It is one of the major flaws of the movies. For that particular reason, it also feels pretty pretentious. I'm not a very pretentious critic of a movie either. So anything that feels pretentious, I hate that fact, and I don't care for it at all. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of talking over, and also when they are talking, when they are having this normal conversation, there is this background music that is like fast-paced, it's more like very fast-paced music. Seems like it's almost feels like you're actually watching an action movie when there is nothing action-packed actually going on. They're just people talking. I don't understand the choice of music. I could have done without that. So I'm not a big fan of that part of the movie either. It's a pretty good movie with a strong couple of characters. Other than that, it does have a few problems here and there. It does have a good plot. It most likely will keep you hooked in if you actually can catch what they're saying in the movie. I would say there are better political movies than this, obviously. And this is not a movie that I would actually rewatch, just because it is very draining. By the time it ended, it's also fairly long. It's more than 2 hours, and it does feel very draining by the end of the movie. So for that reason, I would probably never rewatch this movie. And this movie I would rate 5.8 out of 10. And to give context, since this is my first review, anything above 5 is a positive rating for me, and it is a movie that I would recommend somebody else to watch it. Closer to 6, fairly positive. Anything below 5 isn't a movie that I would actually recommend, but there could be good parts in those movies as well. So yeah, 5.8 out of 10 for Miss Sloane. So my question for you guys, what is your favorite political movies or TV shows? If there's anything you recommend, put them down in the comments below. I would love to know and watch them and also talk about them. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And if you have already watched this movie, let me know your thoughts. If you like this video, give that like button a click, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Later.